Hello, welcome back. It's Paula here again. We are talking about our third installment of the mystery bag creations, and this is looking through the latest Close to My Heart catalogue for April to June and finding a few of my favourites and what I have done with them, giving you a few tips. So in the mystery bag there was a little package with some bits and pieces pre-stamped and pre-cut for you. So in here I had a little circle made from the Hey Handsome paper. I had some little gems, a little piece of lagoon, and all these balloons pre-cut for you. So there's a whole variety. I think there's about 6 or 7 of them sitting in there, along with a little title, Happy Birthday, and some little tags to come down, some little strings. Now these were created from this rather cute stamp set that's in the book called Number Balloons. It is a stamp and thincut set, a little combo, and it allows you to stamp the balloon shapes if you wish to do a celebratory card or a statement on a page, but you can also stamp the number 0, and do it by masking to allow it to look just like a balloon in its own right. So that is what I did for you in this little package, and today I'm going to show you how I did that and what you can do with your little set. So first off, let's just grab a little piece of paper and I'll show you the basics of stamping the 0, the number 0, and turning it into a little balloon. So we simply, I'll just grab a piece of scrap, so we simply grab our 0 onto a block, and then I get a little piece of masking tape, and I've just cut this slightly down so that it's not going to overlap any of the pieces. Then I grab my ink, just grab this colour because it's handy. I'm going to ink it all up, but once I've inked it up, I pull off that mask, so now that that's clear, and then I can do a little stamp. Obviously make sure your block has been cleaned if you've used it as a 0 prior, but that's as easy as it is to create your little balloons shapes instead of the number 0. So what have I done with this little kit? You have got a few bits and pieces, and I've actually taken inspiration from the book once again. I love using the book to get you started, and in the book we have a fabulous embellishment page showing off some of our different stamp sets and how they've been made. So you'll see down here we've got this fun little cluster using that balloon number stamp and then putting a few other bits and pieces together. So I've enabled you to be able to do that, and I have created my little piece here using my little circle as a backdrop, dovetailing that piece, and you can make it as long or short as you like with a little bit of doodling around the outside. And then I've taken 3 of the balloons, it doesn't really matter which 3 you choose, place them on here, cut out my little strings so that they can come down, and then I've got my little sentiment that can be stuck on there as well. So I have created that little embellishment, and then I've just used a bit of a scrap from the Hey Handsome paper you've got in your kit and put that onto a card front with a bit of bling that was included in the kit too, and I had some shimmer trim, silver shimmer trim, just to add that in. Really nice and easy. It's a nice little cluster. You've got the idea sitting here. But of course that little cluster could have gone onto a scrapbook page when you're celebrating someone's birthday. I did something a little bit similar in this example here. I pulled in the balloons, but this time I've just made them sort of come down, and I've actually included the number 16 on there for a 16th birthday celebration for my son, my older son. So that's where that, oopsie, get it back in the camera. So that's how I've used it to embellish on the page. So that's a couple of ideas. Now I've gone off and tried a few other things as well. Now this idea actually came from another maker in New Zealand, Karen Jones. I just saw recently and I thought it was a fabulous looking little one. So you can just grab a piece of card. This is going to fit a base card, so this is actually 4 by 5 1/4. I always put a little bit of scrap paper underneath when I'm doing this sort of thing because we're going to be stamping off, and then I'm going to grab each of the numbers in turn with an ink that's just slightly darker than the one that I'm using, than the paper that I'm using. So I'm using Mink, and I've grabbed Espresso, and I'm just going to go around with my numbers. So here's number 1. And I'm going to grab number 2, and I'm just randomly placing them around the outside edge. Number 3, and I'm going to overlap them a little bit too at times. Here's number 4. Let's just put them over there. 5. Where should we put 5? 5 can come over here. 6. Let's just fill in that space a little bit. 7. And what have we got left? We've got 8 and we've got 9. We'll do 8 here. And then, where is my number 9? Here's number 9. I could have actually done a little bit more spacing here and put more in, but I'll just pop that one down there for now. And maybe I'll actually do that over here as well, just so we've got a little bit of something going around the outside edge. And then I'll just show you what I did to finish it off. This is such an easy little card. So inside that set, we have the stamp set, but we also have all the different numbers as well and die cuts. So I've gone and stamped out a number, and here's my finished card. Stamped out a number, which is 17 in this case, and stamped on that one as well. So that I went for a darker colour. The colour I was inking in, actually. In this case, it was mocha on top of toffee. And that allowed me to make that stand out. I've grabbed the Happy Birthday sentiment, again, which you've gotten a sample of, but it's actually from this stamp set, this beautiful one in the book on page, let's just find it. It's one that's sort of got, you know, you can do it for babies, you can do it for celebrations, for weddings, for going overseas. There's so many options with this set. Here's a couple of examples with that being coloured in, which is beautiful. And you can put little different things in the basket as well. But I just love the sentiment. There's so many different sentiment options sitting in here. You're the best, welcome little one, let your dreams soar, happy birthday. They're all really usable sentiments. So that's where I've grabbed that from. And I've also, from our little set, we have all these other little pieces, like little stars and things. So I have taken my original piece and used the little star to fill in some of the blanks, just like this. And that just gives a little bit more interest. I do usually make sure that I do at least, you know, a bit of an odd number. So at the moment I've done 6, so I'll do one more, which is 7. And then I can fill in the centre with my number and my little sentiment. So that's a nice easy option. You'll notice it's sparkling, and that's because I have actually pulled in the mocha glitter cardstock in the background, which I absolutely love doing on cards like this, where it's very plain on the front. That brings in a little bit of interest. Now, one more card that I have created with this set is a similar type of idea. I've used glitter paper in the background, but this time I have taken, where's my little piece? I have taken my shaker elements. Oh, this is stuck down. I think it had a little bit of tape on the background. So I've taken my shakers and I've cut out a circle, and then I've used my numbers, die cuts, from the set to run that through my die cutting machine and cut a number out. So that's number 15 in this case. Then I can place this onto the backing from our shaker set. So all these circles are coming from the circle shaker set, and I can use that as my guide to stamp through. So let me just grab an ink again. I will grab, mocha will do, I've got this handy. So I'm going to take my number 1, which is the first number, and I've got that as my little guide, and I can pop that through. Then I'm going to take my number 5, do the same thing, use that as my little guide and pop it through. So I've got them written down, and then I can actually just very simply do a little bit of sponging in the background. In this case, I've got a touch of mulberry on here, which gives it a little bit of interest, but nice and easy. I can then raise this up as a little shaker and put some elements inside and have a shaker on my little card. So that's how I went about creating this extra card here. So what I have done is I've done that piece at the background. You can see the 15 in there. I've put some little shaker elements in. And then I've actually overlaid this cute little one that says Happy Birthday on top using some specialty paper that I had. I've tucked in some of our fine thread and pulled in a few of the gorgeous little leaves from the Cossette card making kit to just bring a little bit of interest. And again, I have framed it with that glitter paper. So this is a card for a 15-year-old girl, 17-year-old boy, totally different looks, but achieved using that fabulous set once again. So there's a few ideas. It's a nice quick one today just to give you a starting point with your little collection of balloons and what you can do with that fun alphabet set. Thanks for watching.